Hawking.
Coming up on Newswatch, Ohio pauses some preparations for the May 3rd primary.
Plus, China could face sanctions if it helps the Russian invasion of Ukraine.
And in sports, here's why you root for the March Madness underdogs. Newswatch starts right now.
Good evening, I'm Olivia Roman.
And I'm Fallon Howard. Welcome to Newswatch, your source for news impacting southeastern Ohio. Ohio Republicans are looking into the impeachment of Chief Justice Maureen O'Connor. The justice has sided with Ohio Supreme Court's 3 Democrats in ruling against the GOP-dominated Redistricting Commission unconstitutional gerrymandering. Governor Mike DeWine says it's not a good idea to impeach O'Connor, and former Supreme Court colleagues have said impeachment is highly unlikely. O'Connor has been Chief Justice for 20 years and can't run for re-election because of Ohio's age limit on justices. The commission meets tomorrow to meet their next MAP deadline of March 28th. Ohio's top elections pauses certain preparations for the May 3rd primary in the face of another court decision invalidating GOP drawn maps of new legislative districts. Republican Secretary of State Frank LaRose wrote a letter to the Ohio Redistricting Commission. He said counties are, quote, simply out of time to complete the work necessary to hold state house elections, end quote. His order prohibits counties from changing or sending ballots until further notice. LaRose can't change the election date himself, so it will be up to the Ohio legislature or federal court. So, the first day of spring is coming up this Sunday. What do you have to say? Did you guys get a chance to go outside and enjoy the weather?
Well, yeah, I was just going to say it was a beautiful week. I mean, really great way to kind of lead up. And I know I've been enjoying it with, doing work outside every chance I get and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I definitely enjoyed the weather this week. We definitely saw temperatures in the 70s. So it's definitely a taste for what we're going to start seeing next week with spring. But for right now, we are going to see some rain this evening. And as we head to the radar, we're going to be seeing more rain through the evening. There is going to be a little break within the next hour after this first line of rain moves through. But after that, we're going to be seeing some more thunderstorms start to develop. But we won't be seeing any severe weather unless you're in areas like Cincinnati heading into Chillicothe. We may see a marginal risk of severe weather. The main threat will be damaging winds, but overall severe weather this evening will not be a concern. And heading into right now, we do have temperatures at around 68 degrees, including Lancaster and down to Huntington, and at around 72 in Parkersburg. But as this rain moves in, we'll start to see temperatures start to decrease. As you can see off in Wilmington, we're at around 57 degrees, and we'll drop down to around 51 degrees this evening. But don't worry, the nice weather will be returning this weekend, and I will have more information on that in my full forecast coming up. But for right now, I'm going to be tossing it back to Olivia.
Thank you, Henry. An electric battery factory is planned to be placed in West Virginia by Sparks. It will employ at least 350 people and partner with the United Mine Workers of America. It will train unemployed miners who will work in the factory. CEO Sanjeev Malhotra states that the batteries will be 100% cobalt-free. As of now, they are in the final stages of selecting an official location and announcing future partnerships. A West Virginia coal-fired powered plant is to be sold or retired next year. Energy Harbor, an Akron, Ohio-based company, announced a plan for the Pleasance Power Station, along with a coal and diesel facility in Stratton, Ohio. Energy Harbor says the plan is part of its commitment to become carbon-free. The station is located on the Ohio River near Belmont, which is northeast of Parkersburg. West Virginia Governor Jim Justice signed a bill passed by a legislator in 2019 to stop charging the power station's owner a $12.5 million tax.
The Kentucky House endorses legalizing medical marijuana. The House passed a bill Thursday to strictly regulate the use of cannabis for eligible medical conditions. The year-long debate now shifts to the Senate on whether Kentucky should join majority of the states allowing medical marijuana. Supporters say it would ease the pain of Kentuckians, but opponents worry the Kentucky cannabis policy will become more easygoing over the years and worsen drug addiction. A musician with local ties is gaining national attention. Jake Eddy of Parkersburg has become one of the rising stars of the contemporary bluegrass. He joins renowned clarinetist Andy Statman in a tour across the country and is making a stop in Athens. The pair connected after Eddy stumbled upon Statman's email address back in 2021. Both Eddy and Statman say they both have found it enormously rewarding to work together. Their tour stops in Athens on March 22nd at Arts West on West State Street.
New murals are going up all around Athens. The murals are located on Ohio University's Chemistry Building, Chubb Hall, Copeland Hall, and Morton Hall. With more murals are coming. University Communication and Marketing Vice President Robin Oliver says it is all a part of Ohio University's Forever Ohio campaign. She says the murals talk about student experience at OU. The campaign began after Ohio University redesigned the look of the Schoonover Center lobby, inspiring Oliver and others in UCM to think outside the box. Oliver says future plans include putting murals up on Ping Recreation Center, Grover Hall, and the Richland Street Bridge. With prospective students touring campus this weekend, Oliver hopes the murals will provide a window into life at OU. The House passes a bill banning discrimination based on hairstyles. And what's to come with Supreme Court hearings? These stories and more when Newswatch returns.
Slime molds.
You have this organism that has no brain, no organs, no neurons of any kind, and they still have to find food. They may need to hide from predators.
What can they tell us about intelligence?
Solving a maze is amazing.
And where it came from?
We can think of them as how intelligence started way back.
The secret mind of slime.
How could you not love them?
On Nova.
He's back.
Come on.
Yeah, isn't this amazing?
Wait, what?
Dr. Henry Louis Gates returns
No way. Everybody has a story.
with more new episodes,
It's daunting.
That's beautiful.
It's too much.
Too much.
new guests,
It's amazing.
Let's buff.
I have no words.
and newfound family.
These are your people, man.
He just took me through a soap opera.
He looks like my kid. Yeah, he does, doesn't he?
Finding your roots.
Next time on Antiques Roadshow, these guests feel like they're on top of the world at our stop in the White Mountains.
That's exciting.
Wow. Wow.
The Who is one of the greatest bands of the 20th century. We've got small concert, small town, big band, and backstage. You can't get better than that.
It's Antiques Roadshow, next time from the Omni Mount Washington Resort in New Hampshire.
This is the story of how butterflies became one of the great wonders of the world. From a dark and dangerous past, they have triumphed across the planet. Masters of deception and seduction, they're indispensable to much of life on Earth. How did these delicate but enduring heroes come to be?
Economic sanctions and a clash with Western European nations. That's what the Biden administration said China could face if President Xi Jinping provides assistance to Russia in its ongoing attack on Ukraine. During a call with Biden, Chinese President Xi Jinping said conflict is not in anyone's interest. Gloria Pazmino has the latest.
China could face economic sanctions from the U.S. and Western European nations if it decides to help the Russian military's attack against Ukraine. The White House says Biden and Xi held a joint video call for an hour and 50 minutes Friday morning. The meeting comes at a pivotal point for ties between the U.S. and China. In advance of the meeting, the U.S. Secretary of State previewed the administration's views.
And we're concerned that they're considering directly assisting Russia with military equipment to use in Ukraine.
If Xi provides that support, it could cause a clash between the U.S., China, and Western European nations. China could face serious economic risk with trading partners in Western Europe and the U.S. So far, Beijing has refrained from voicing clear support or opposition to Russia's invasion.
There were some explosions. I heard the noise, and then I looked right away and I saw a column of smoke rising.
Attacks continue across Ukraine. Officials in Lviv said a Russian missile struck a location near the city's airport. As the Russian military pushes west, residents in Ukraine say they fear the danger of the attacks and leaving their loved ones behind.
It's scared to leave all family.
I'm Gloria Pasmino reporting.
Governor Mike DeWine showed his support yesterday for Ukrainians displaced by the conflict. He says Ohio welcomes and will welcome any refugees from Ukraine. DeWine joins many other governors who have opened their state to Ukrainian refugees. The U.S. passed a bill which bans discrimination based on hairstyles and hair textures associated with race or national origin. It would apply to employment and people taking part in federally assisted programs, housing programs, and public accommodations. The hair texture and protective styles listed in the bill include locks, cornrows, twists, braids, bantu knots, and afros. The sponsor, Congresswoman Bonnie Watson Coleman, said natural black hair is often deemed unprofessional just because it does not conform to white beauty standards. The House voted 235 to 189 to pass the Crown Act, which stands for Creating a Respectful and Open World for Natural Hair. It now goes to the Senate. More than a dozen states have passed similar bills. In Athens, City Council passed an ordinance similar to the Crown Act. Passing in late February, the new ordinance expands discrimination provisions within the city's discrimination code. The ordinance protects hairstyles and hair texture historically associated with race. City Council member Micah McCary says he hopes the ordinance will create more professionalism in the workplace.
A historic round of hearings begin on Capitol Hill Monday. The Senate Judiciary Committee will consider the nomination of Ketanji Brown Jackson to serve as the first black woman on the U.S. Supreme Court. Karen Kaifa has a preview from Washington.
When President Biden nominated the first black woman to the Supreme Court last month, Ketanji Brown Jackson gave a nod to another trailblazer.
Today, I proudly stand on Judge Motley's shoulders, sharing not only her birthday, but also her steadfast and courageous commitment to equal justice.
Jackson referenced Constance Baker Motley, the first black woman to serve as a federal judge. Now Jackson is poised to inspire another generation of black women in law and shape the nation's highest court.
For too long, our government, our courts, haven't looked like America.
Jackson was nominated to fill the seat soon to be vacated by Justice Stephen Breyer, for whom she clerked after graduation from Harvard Law School. Breyer will retire at the end of the court's current term.
Thank you, Mr. President.
The evenly divided Senate confirmed Jackson to her current seat on the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia just last June on a 53-44 vote. Republicans aren't expected to make Jackson's Supreme Court hearings too messy. The court will still have a 6-3 conservative majority after Jackson takes her seat. But some areas of her legal career could draw scrutiny.
She's clearly a sharp lawyer with an impressive resume. But when it comes to the Supreme Court, a core qualification is judicial philosophy.
As Jackson has made the rounds on Capitol Hill, GOP senators have indicated her time as a public defender will be one of those areas, including work representing detainees at the U.S. military prison at Guantanamo Bay, and her views on the role of race in the U.S. criminal justice system. Democrats will emphasize Jackson's credentials and character at a groundbreaking moment.
Well, I can just tell you that she's a person of quality, integrity, and values. And she has the support across the political spectrum to prove it.
Senate Democratic leaders hope to wrap the process with a final floor vote by April 8th. In Washington, I'm Karen Kaifa.
Check in with local politicians on the nomination. With March Madness upon us, there's science behind why you root for the underdogs. That story's still ahead.
And after a week of nice weather, we will see rain overnight tonight, and we could see another chance of rain heading into next week. I'll have this and more in my full forecast coming up, but first a look at stocks of local interest.
Next time on Antiques Roadshow, these guests feel like they're on top of the world at our stop in the White Mountains.
That's exciting.
Wow. Wow.
The Who is one of the greatest bands of the 20th century. We've got small concert, small town, big band, and backstage. You can't get better than that.
It's Antiques Roadshow, next time from the Omni-Mount Washington Resort in New Hampshire.
On expedition.
I'm in Greenland with an expert team of Arctic explorers, attempting to kayak up the largest fjord in the world.
Simply stunning. I don't think there's anywhere else on Earth where you feel quite so small, quite so vulnerable. Real danger of getting trapped here.
That's closed up already.
Oh my God, that is absolutely awe-inspiring. This is what adventures are made of.
Slime molds.
You have this organism that has no brain, no organs, no neurons of any kind, and they still have to find food. They may need to hide from predators.
What can they tell us about intelligence?
Solving a maze is amazing.
And where it came from.
We can think of them as how intelligence started way back.
The secret mind of slime.
How could you not love them?
On Nova.
He's back.
Come on.
Yeah, isn't this amazing?
Wait, what?
Dr. Henry Louis Gates returns
No way. Everybody has a story.
with more new episodes,
It's daunting.
That's beautiful.
It's too much.
Too much.
new guests,
It's amazing.
Chutzpah. I have no words.
and newfound family.
These are your people, man.
He just took me through a soap opera.
He looks like my kid.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he?
Finding your roots.
Welcome back to Newswatch. And after having a great week of really nice weather, we now will have to start dealing with rain. As of right now, looking out on radar, we do have an area of rain moving across the region out from Cincinnati. And that's going to be moving over for the next half hour. And after that, we're going to see a break this evening. But overnight, we will start to see more thunderstorms start to develop thanks to an area of low pressure that's now moving across the region and will be bringing the chance of some thunderstorms overnight. Some storms may be severe, but mostly we're looking at a marginal risk of severe winds across Chillicothe. Columbus is on the edge, but they shouldn't have to worry much about severe weather. And for us in Athens and Parkersburg, don't really have to worry much. It's mostly down in Kentucky where they'll have a higher risk. But looking at tonight, we're going to be seeing temperatures drop down to around 51 degrees. Showers will be likely throughout the evening. We will hear a few rumbles of thunder, but overall, it's going to be just mostly rain overnight. And heading through tomorrow, the area of low pressure will move off to the north, bringing some scattered showers throughout the day, but it's mostly going to be confined to the early morning hours up to around 8 or 9 a.m. And after that, we'll be dealing with cloudy skies through tomorrow with mostly cool weather with highs at around 59 degrees. And we're going to be seeing lows reach down to around 38. But again, mostly the rain will stick to the morning with cloudy skies throughout the day. But heading through tomorrow night, we'll still see a few scattered showers as the area of low pressure moves off to the north, and high pressure will start to build in for our Sunday as it moves off to the east, and still seeing a few showers. But for our Saturday, still seeing rain, and then for our Sunday, we'll see mostly sunny skies. Temperatures will slowly start to increase through to around 60 degrees, but overall, we're still going to feel like spring for the second half of the weekend after seeing those showers move through on Saturday. And heading to our 7-day forecast, we're going to be seeing temperatures reach back up to around 68 degrees on Monday. With the chance of showers heading back on Tuesday, it'll be around 30%, so not looking at any heavy rain. But on Wednesday, we do have to watch out for the chance of mostly heavy rain through Wednesday and Thursday. But overall temperatures will be sticking to around 60 degrees, and lows will be through the 40s. But we'll have more on the heavy rain heading into next week. But for now, I'm going to be handing it back to Darius with sports.
Thanks, Henry. March Madness is officially underway, and the first round of games for college basketball tournament will continue tonight. If you find yourself rooting for the underdog, a sports psychologist says there are reasons for that. Mandy Gaither has more on the science.
March Madness is here. You may find yourself jumping on the underdog bandwagon, and your brain is what's driving you there, says Jamie Houle, a sports psychologist with the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center.
It's almost gratifying when folks that are supposed to win don't.
Houle says there's a science behind the desire to pull for the underdog. First, we can relate to them, even if we're not aware of it.
What it makes us believe is that maybe at some point we might be able to do something great, overcome some kind of odds that seem like overwhelming.
There's always an expectation that the best teams will win, but when that doesn't happen, Houle says we find joy in the unexpected.
When we see people who are really great mess up, it makes us go, okay, cool. Maybe I'm not that different than everybody else.
Many times fans root against a team as much as they root for one. Houle says that's our brain's way of wanting things to be fair.
We want justice, so we want things to be kind of equal, and when they're not equal, that doesn't really feel good to us.
Indianapolis.
And finally, we often find an unexpected outcome to simply be more exciting.
We want chaos because it's kind of more fun to watch than the regular things we do every day.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
There are some great matchups on both the men's and women's sides of the bracket tonight. Taking a look at the upcoming women's schedule, fans will have a chance to see the top 3 seeds play later this evening. 2-seed Texas will take on Fairfield at 8, while 3rd-seed Iowa and top-ranked Stanford both play at 10. On the men's side of things, coach Mike Krzyzewski will lead the Duke Blue Devils into the tournament for one final time, later tonight at 7:10 when they take on Cal State Fullerton. And for more in sports, Ohio baseball returned to action today as they welcomed in Kent State. Recap of today's game coming up next on Newswatch. All this and more on the other side of this break. And be sure to stay tuned to WOUB. Here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
Next time on Antiques Roadshow, these guests feel like they're on top of the world at our stop in the White Mountains.
That's exciting.
Wow. Wow.
The Who is one of the greatest bands of the 20th century. We've got small concert, small town, big band, and backstage. You can't get better than that.
It's Antiques Roadshow, next time from the Omni-Mount Washington Resort in New Hampshire.
On expedition.
I'm in Greenland with an expert team of Arctic explorers, attempting to kayak up the largest fjord in the world. Simply stunning. I don't think there's anywhere else on Earth where you feel quite so small, quite so vulnerable. Real danger of getting trapped here.
That's closed up already.
Oh my God, that is absolutely awe-inspiring. This is what adventures are made of.
He's back.
Come on.
Yeah, isn't this amazing?
Wait, what?
Dr. Henry Louis Gates returns
No way. Everybody has a story.
with more new episodes,
It's daunting.
That's beautiful.
It's too much.
Too much.
new guests,
It's amazing.
Let's spot. I have no words.
and newfound family.
These are your people, man.
He just took me through a soap opera.
He looks like my kid.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he?
Finding your roots.
Slime molds.
You have this organism that has no brain, no organs, no neurons of any kind, and they still have to find food. They may need to hide from predators.
What can they tell us about intelligence?
Solving a maze is amazing.
And where it came from?
We can think of them as how intelligence started way back.
The secret mind of slime.
How could you not love them?
On Nova.
Welcome back, everyone. Ohio's baseball's weekend is off to the good start. The Bobcats took down Kent State earlier this afternoon 9-4. Eddie Cutt got the start for Ohio and pitched into the 7th inning, but in the 8th, Kent tied the game off Brett Manis. A.J. Rosh, however, put the Bobcats back on top with an inside-the-park home run, his second homer of the day. Rosh says he wanted a strong performance today.
I mean, I knew this was going to be a big game. Last week got cut short because of weather, start off conference play. So everybody just, wanted to compete, give their best, and, the emotions, I was just going up to the box and competing. So that's what I did today, and, 2 big hits, so.
Ohio and Kent State continue their series tomorrow with a doubleheader. First pitch for Game 1 is set for noon. The Ohio softball team looks to keep their momentum going after a big-time victory at home. The Bobcats are in the midst of a doubleheader today in Buffalo. We're still waiting for a score from Game 1, and this comes after Ohio knocked off Marshall Wednesday in its home opener in Athens. The Bobcats trailed 5-1 after 5 innings, but the Bobcats rallied with 7 runs in the next 2 innings for a final score of 8-7. Fifth-year Bobcat Tori Walker scored 2 runs, propelling the Bobcats to their 6th win of the year. Ohio will need her bat in today's doubleheader against Buffalo. First pitch for tomorrow's rubber match is set for 2 p.m. The Ohio women's basketball season has come to a close after an underwhelming year. The Bobcats faced off against South Dakota State University on the road yesterday as part of the 2022 Women's NIT. Unfortunately, they were unable to get back in the win column, falling 87-57. Freshman Yaya Felder was the bright spot for Ohio in this one. She had one of her best games of the entire year, dropping a team-high 20 points and securing 3 steals. The Bobcats finished the 2021-22 campaign with a 15-15 overall record. The men's basketball team begins the final stretch of its season this weekend. The Bobcats face off against Rice University at the Roman College Basketball Invitational in Daytona Beach, Florida. Rice finished its season with a 16-16 record overall, which included a 7-11 record in Conference U.S. play. Jeff Bowles and his crew look to bounce back after a disappointing result last week after falling to Kent State in the MAC tournament semifinals. Tomorrow's game tips off at 7:30 p.m. The Cleveland Browns have acquired Deshaun Watson as part of a monumental trade package. It was reported earlier in the week that Watson was not planning on signing with the team, but that did not stop the Browns from going after the now former Houston Texans quarterback. According to sources from Cleveland.com, the Browns have traded 3 first-round picks, 1 third-round pick, and 1 fourth-round pick to Houston for Watson. They are signing him to a 5-year, $230 million guaranteed deal. The 3-time Pro Bowler became a target of the Browns after a grand jury declined to indict him on sexual misconduct claims made by 22 women. The Cleveland Cavaliers continue to struggle with their playoff hopes. They're on thin ice. The Cavs have struggled to stay in the win column after losing all-star Jared Allen last week to injury. Their most recent game Wednesday against the Philadelphia 76ers was a snapshot into their skid. The Cavs scratched and clawed their way back from down big early on to take a 90-85 lead after 3 quarters. But the firepower from Philly was just too much to handle. The 76ers outscored Cleveland 33-24 in the final quarter, leading to a 4-point loss. Sixers star Joel Embiid finished with a double-double of 35 points and 17 rebounds. The Cavs look to get back to their winning ways starting tonight when they take on the Denver Nuggets. I'm Darius Sethna, and that's it for sports. Back to you, Fallon.
Thanks, Darius. Turns out Disneyland isn't the happiest place on Earth. It's Finland. For the 5th, the Nordic takes the spot of the list of happiest countries from the World Happiness Report. It's based on the life evaluations from the Gallup World Poll. This poll includes healthy life expectancy, GDP per capita, social support in times of trouble, low corruption, and high social trust, along with generosity, a community where people look out for each other, and freedom to make key life decisions. The U.S. ranks 16th on the list. And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Fallon Howard.
And for Henry Groff and Darius Sethna, I'm Olivia Roman. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at WOUB.org. Have a great night.
Donating your old car, motorcycle, or truck helps support public television. And it may get you a pretty nice tax deduction, too. Plus, we make donating your car easy. Just call our toll-free number or visit us online.
Support comes from the Center for Campus and Community Engagement at Ohio University and Give Pulse, a volunteer management platform for nonprofits and volunteers. At givepulse.com, nonprofits manage events, volunteers, and donations and help community members and students get